So this morning we're going to look at Xbox One X 1787. These usually have a lot of problems, but both of these work. Yesterday I worked on a PS4 1001A. I actually set it up as, for now, for my computer. For my PS4 games. Loaded some games. Everything works fine now. I had a freeze on it, but then it went away. So look at this. I got this too. This works, I think. Just missing a panel. Besides that, I think it fully works. So we'll play around with this. So what I'm going to do is I don't need two X's here. I may keep one for me. I have a Series S, but I don't have a Series X. So we'll decide what we're going to do here. First we'll retest these, and of course it's Xbox. It's going to need updates. That'll be the first thing it's going to do, is update. Both of these fully work. I had each one of them listed, but I just didn't really have any. So we're going to go back to the normal way, which is tear it all down and sell all the parts off. Works much better. I got a couple 1 terabyte in this one. This one's got an original 1 terabyte in it. Alright, so let's figure out what we're going to do here. Let's get my bearings. I cleaned up a little bit. Both of these fully work. This one's missing the front power board. Oh, I didn't notice that. Must have fell off. Alright, so let's do this then. Let's take this one apart. I had this one together, but this one, for some reason, the back end of it got damaged. Back here. See it? These three here got damaged. Even the cover was a little bit damaged, but this fully works. So we'll start with this one, and I'll go find a power button for the other one. I think I have one more left. So let's look at this for a second. A couple days ago, I was doing hard drives, both Xbox and PS4. Of course, they're two completely different concepts. Huh? Wonder button's not pushing. Unexpected. That's all right. Yeah, that's all. I can feel the button. It's not pushing into the other button. All right. So we're gonna regroup on this anyway. So let's start that. For some reason I have a button problem. And this is not seated in there, right? But we're gonna take it off. That's what we're gonna do. Start over. So at least one of these is getting stripped down, if not both of them, at some point. These screws are hard to find, these ones here. Let's start over on both of these. Found another Project Scorpio cover. So that's basically, it's the same exact X 1787 inside. You're just paying for that fancy cover. Let's start over with this. Lots of booby traps in these too. Gotta be careful. We'll talk about the booby traps in a minute. Alright, let's just get this off. I had some sort of an issue, so this comes off this way, and that goes off that way. So for some reason the button wasn't hitting the button. Not often I keep things together anywho, so it's not going to stay together. try that again. Oh, this one, the fan had a little bit of a piece of broken piece to it. This one right there. See a piece of that fan? This is the first booby trappers right here. So many of these when these were the big thing. I sold so many of these. It's for the port for down here in the bind button. And then the other booby trap is right there. If you don't remember, it comes off this way. A couple of things on this one. I had put a upgraded hard drive in this. Not an upgrade, I just replaced it, I should say. Solid state drives would you really need to put in these. But in order to do you gotta put the whole operating system on there. For some reason it wasn't hitting the button. Yeah, see. It physically wasn't hitting this button with that. Didn't notice that. Another good reason why I didn't try to sell it. I would have retested it anyway. But alright, so let's get some action here. Oh, there it goes. It usually doesn't turn on. Now we're going to set up this. So right now this is complete. I need to get source out though, which is HDMI 2. And of course this will need all kinds of updates. It's factory reset, so I'll have to set it up like this. I'm just going to end up keeping that, I think. Came across both of these, I don't know, at some point. It says all the knobs and all the other. I think this is the original Elite. It's been opened. You can see that the negative, positive, negative, positive. I thought this worked. My battery don't work. Oh, let's plug it in. So, this doesn't have a drift, I don't think. I can't remember. I don't believe it does. Alright, so we'll do Wi-Fi, we'll set it up. Oh, I missed it. I'm gonna get a knob for this though. I need a knob. There we go. Now I have a knob. Let's set this up. Oop. See if that worked. So this doesn't work that good. Good enough though. So of course it's going to need an update you watch. What's the odds? It's been a few months since this has been on. Oh yeah. First thing to last for it. There it is. It's not as big an update. Only 800 megabyte update. Usually it's like 4 gigabytes. So we'll update that. Of course. So what I'm going to do is probably keep this and maybe I'll just sell with all the little buttons and things. I don't need all those. I want the normal normal button. And this, I don't like this thing. I like the normal one. So I'll sell all the buttons off it. Just put that back to the way it was. This will go back in here. That's probably what we'll do. I don't need that. Those are wide. Those are taller. And I don't want taller ones. Just setting this up for me. It's really tall. I don't want that. Oh, those are tall too. Oh, rats. I wonder why they're tall. See, it's taller than... That's kind of a bummer. Those are really tall. And it has an extra little floppy thing too to it. Guess we'll go with the tall one, not the really tall ones. Like those. Let's go down there. That's really tall. And then this is semi-tall, I guess you could say. But I want them to match, so I'll leave one out. I guess. I think that's my preference right there. It's missing that piece. Alright, so it's updating. Let's do that. Let's see if I can find another piece for that one. Because I may just leave this like this. I know this has been updated. I know this one fully works. I'd like to retest it again. So the thing with these, this is what's missing the back panel. If I remember. So there's two different. This is where that booby trap is, which is right here. It's the cable. There's two kinds though. And it's a huge difference. This one has two little inner pins way in the center. In the center of the center, there's two teeny little pins. I call that type 2 for that cable. That goes from here to the bottom piece. And then the other one doesn't have those two little pins. It's solid. I call that type 1. And one will not fit the other. And over the years, especially when these were the big thing, I used to sell them all the time because buyers were ripping them off. They weren't paying attention. They were rushing to pull the things apart, and they were ripping this cable right here. It goes to there, and that controls the bind button down here. So if you rip the cable, then you're screwed. So a lot of guys will rip. Well, also what they're doing, or not guys, but buyers, were ripping the whole connection off the board. If you do that, then you're done. This one was fine. I'm just gonna update. Let's see if I can find another button. I think I have one more. Go for it for a second. So now I thought I had one more, but I don't. So we're gonna update this one. Seeing that it's got that hole in the fan thing, I'll keep that one. We'll pull that one apart. This one apart. They're both the 2-pin. This one and that one. That's what we'll do. So wait for that to update. I found another drive. I'll look around, but I don't think I can. So I had one more of those, but I don't see it. So we need to take that down. Two screws. I'll grab it there for now. I'm gonna test this. Small update, but it's gonna take a little bit. We're getting it though. Let it finish and then we'll swap over. We'll pull this one carefully and then update this one. Okay. Wood. Alright, so I can't really do anything with this one yet. I have another, this is the Series S, not Series S, S1681 power supply. I need to test this. I've got another common issue with the S's. Well, there's many issues with the S's, but besides the hard drives and mechanical hard drives, in both of these always cause problem. Power supplies sometimes. But the main one is it doesn't recognize the drive board. Therefore, it never finishes the update. I've got 2 boards like that, and I got a partial. Let me go find it. They're on that while we. Find something else to do while waiting for that. For a few minutes anyway. Okay. So, the issue with this works, but it doesn't. It says that common issue. There's some sort of a fuse or something around the disk drive on the motherboard that blows, and so I'm just doing an offline update. It's about 63%. It stops because I could never see the drive board to update it. Therefore, it never finishes. And at some point, I need the power button for this one too. It shut off. I want to test that as a power supply in a minute. Once that's done, we'll pull the other one. The power supply in these comes off pretty easy. I know this was tested. There's no hard drive on it, but we can always pull it back on. There's a little clip thingy that holds this in. You always want to test these off of the thing. If you have no power at all, you might get lucky with a power supply, but if it's on and off, it's your motherboard. I used to sell all these so many of these over the years, and buyers were buying them, and it was their motherboard, not my power supply. Very hard to sell them. So what you want to do is test these off. Plug it in. These are easy to do. It's not like a PS4 we have to jump some pins. This one you just plug it in, stick the multi thing here, and it'll see if you get the 11 point something volts, and you know you work. Don't go by this. Test this. So we'll test that later. And then I have to find a power button for this at some point. My update's almost done. Okay, and then the disk drives, of course. There's 3 main disk drives. Try to hit some stuff as I'm thinking about it. The only difference between the X is the pins in the front here. X1787. This is the 1540. And this one is the S. It's got 5 pins. The only one that it really matters is the X, because those 4 pins have exactly 4 pin that will fit into it. So this drive will only fit into that case. The other ones doesn't matter. And then the disk drives themselves are exactly the same, all 3 of them. So the lens assemblies in each one are exactly the same. Every part of this is exactly the same. There might be a newer version. The only difference is this front thing. They just changed it. So you can take all the parts from this, put it in this, or put it in that. Or you can just take the whole drive and just swap it around. But you can't use the 1540 in an X. And you can't use S1681 in an X, because of those 4 pins. It won't fit. It won't go in. This is specific holes designed exactly for those pins. But besides that, it's the same. So if you need a read issue, just get a lens or swap it from some other one you might have. Alright, so this is good enough. It updated. Alright, so we can shut this down now. So what we'll do is we'll say this is all set up for it's updated. I know that fully worked. Just wanted to do an update on it, so that's what we did. So let's undo the booby traps first here, so we don't mess up anything. This is the one we're gonna test. Now, there's 2 booby traps here. What we need to do. And again, over the years, I was selling so many of those. So this is the first thing. You gotta, it's the eclipse from the top. That's gotta come off. And this has to come off first. This is a 2-pin, I believe, as well. Makes a difference, huge difference. You can't see it probably from there to here, but there's 2 micro pins in the side of the inside thing. So that's got to come off. Those certain screws only fit in there. All my screwdrivers are dead now. Rats. Dependent on these 2. I have 4 of them and they all died. Can't seem to find a battery that, there's a battery that goes in these. You take it apart and it separates. These are Hybros. They're pretty awesome. I've had them for 5-6 years now. But all my batteries are just about dead. Can't find a replacement battery for it. Screws. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you gotta make sure you have that off because you gotta pull it out in a weird way. Did I miss one? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, I did miss one. I missed one. Like it's not pulling out. So 6. There's 6 of them. I just want to get to that button so I can test that. That's all I want to do. Yeah, there it goes. Alright, so you gotta make sure that this cable's out. That little clip thing. See? If not, you'll ruin this. See those 4 pins? Fit exactly into the 4 pin marks right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So only that can go into here. But all the parts inside are the same. So this is the 2 major booby traps here, this one. Again, either the buyers are ripping them off, or they ripped them right out of the motherboard because it's so fragile if you don't pay attention. So all I'm going to do right now, sometimes you have to have everything connected in order to do an update. And I think I don't need to. So all I'm doing is taking this. Putting it over there. That's it. Pretty basic. And then we'll tear this one down. This is the one the motherboard will sell. Fully works. Be careful. It pushes it up this way. I don't need an eject button now. You think it would be the bottom, but it's not. It's the opposite. It's on top. Also something that many buyers broke over the years. So I want to say 1540s. I've had to have at least 750 of them. over the years. S's probably close to that as many over the years, and X's maybe 500-ish over the years. Lots of them. Okay, this is what I need. This is good to go. Let's just pull the top off too. One of these is a really short screw. I think it's this one. It's a little nub. Yeah, it's the little nub there. I had this all ready to sell, but I just wasn't getting any luck with it, so time to move on. I often change things up. You have to. You have to keep mixing things up. So, we'll come back to this one. This gives me another bottom case, but it's got some sticker to it. Often sell this bottom case with the black thing still on it. So to completely tear that one down, that makes sense. It's upside down, so I gotta put it upside down. Alright, so same deal here. I'll pull this one apart. I like that logo. So this is already set up. Okay. So that actually makes my life a little bit easier. I don't have to. Still gonna have an update going on there. I'll get to it. So I have to use the port in the back. Because I don't have a front port because that's part of that cable. Right. Okay, what is it? I tell you, what's the first thing that happens? Update. This could be so this is another update. But we're gonna keep this just the way it is now. I need a tester for disk drives and stuff. So that's updating. And this is gonna get torn down. And try to do as many things as possible at once. Forcibly. So this is a good tested, updated motherboard set. I know the drive worked, everything, but I can retest it on there later. This thing's the best thing ever. This is my oldest one. And this battery seems to have held, but cries a short, stubby 3.7 volt. Can't seem to find it. There's the screws over here. Pieces of the Wi-Fi board. This big piece, it always falls off. It doesn't really stay on there. It's more of a, it's a spacer is what it is. Alright, now the fun part. So the best way to do this is to get power supply, which is 1815, I want to say. Power supply. This little pad thing here. And you have to take the fan to get to the two different fans and heatsink sets. AV VID, I believe, and then Delta. One does not fit the other. Oh, one does. I'm sorry. The other one doesn't. I'll show you what I mean. Let me get in here for a minute. Some of these X's over the years I've opened up, this was like completely brown from the heat. These overheat is what happens with these. And then they blow out the video chip on these. And then you just get a black screen. Huh. I've never seen one like this. So AV, I've never seen three rails of copper like that. That's interesting. AAVID. It's about this notch over here. See this notch? Right here? If it's a delta, so AVID, that notch matches that notch. If you have a delta, the notch is different. And one of these will fit on the other heatsink, and one will not. I forget which is which. But if you've done this enough, you know what I'm talking about. Of course, sand, dirt. Never seen three rails of that. That's interesting. Must be a newer one. Because again, there's so much heat in these things. So every X1787 size is the exact same. No such thing as a Scorpio X1787. There is, but it's nothing to do with the inside. They all have the Scorpio, every single one of them. Nothing different. Although this is different. Never seen three rails like that. Interesting. That's definitely a seller right there. It's got a little more copper than they normally do. So let's see what this came out. Do I have a date on here? Let's see if there's a date on this. Oh, there's also those little pads that are in there. So this is in decent shape. This is the pad. There's 4 pads that go on the edge here. That one's always stuck inside. So that's supposed to go like that. Dusty, of course. They're always really dusty. That's interesting to me. All right, let's move some stuff. Pull that in a minute. I'm also going to do this one too. I need to get the dry board out. My second favorite thing ever, Dominox. I'm not really good at soldering. I can solder wires on and off. That's about it. But with that, I feel like a professional. This little boot action going on there. I ziplock everything. It's just a habit, actually, more than anything. I got a million bags around everywhere. Ziploc bags. I don't sell little parts like I used to because it's just too expensive to ship them now. I can't. Our gas just went up to $4.50 now, I think. Luckily, I don't go anywhere, so I'm self-sufficient at home, so I'm all set. Let's take a while to verify that. It's still doing its updated there, of course. Again, we're doing two things at once here. Probably get this thing completely torn down by the time that update ticket's done. Drive board. Yeah, these heat up really quick. They're just as hot as a cord one. Has a little LED light. They were really cheap. I bought a few of them. I think I have 4 of these too. I dropped one in the pin. The top thing broke. I just need to unsolder 2 wires. Pretty simple. Even I can do that. So inside, like I said, except this drive, everything is exactly the same. Just this piece is different. Green is good, green is go. So we're on track here. Because you need the drive board has to match the drive. And that's it. And then this is out of my way in that quickly. And I won't see it again for quite some time. Pretty awesome. And there's 3 screws here. Oh, you know what I just noticed? See, remember before I was saying that if you don't have everything hooked up, it won't update? And I just realized this is not updating. And now I know why. Right there, see it? Oh, there it goes, 37. Hold on. It wasn't updating. It was stuck at 36. I don't have the USB connector connected to it. Let's see if this... No, it's doing it now. I was going to say, wait a minute. Maybe I need to connect that. I may have to. It's not seeing that, but we'll see. Let's get this out first. It's moving now. Okay. It wasn't moving when I looked a couple times. Okay, drive board. You can see the heat it burned off of this right here. See that button? You can see the heat from there, right there. So, you can just take the 3 screws off, angle it, you pull it out. This lens assembly can go go in and switch between 1540, S1681, this X1787, and I believe the Series X is still the same hard drive inside. Pretty sure. These are different. And of course, like I said, these pins are only for the X. So the physical hard drive part of it can only fit into the X. But you can take this X and throw it in a 1540 or the S. It doesn't matter. The pins are not relevant there. So this is good. Put the screws back in little screw holes there. Oh, we're 90% now. Okay. kept looking up and it wasn't changing. I was like, uh-oh. 2, 3. Because if you order a disk drive replacement, you have to put your board back on. So all this stuff is still ready to go. So usually I'll just set it up like this. I don't even know if I have any listed. Oops. Not with the wire sticking out though. But if you just have a reed issue, you just need to replace the lens inside there. The lens assembly, or even better, the lens itself. Alright, so this is rebooting now. Hasn't given me an error yet, so that's cool. Okay. Have to have the dry board connected though. I thought maybe this one, the USB port, needed to be, but it doesn't look like it so far. Because what we're also doing is doesn't connect to. I'm also not connected to this board here. Well, I am through that connection. I think I'm not connected to the eject button. That's what I'm not connected to. So 2 things that are not connected. That technically should be connected before you update. That'd be a good hour project, yeah. Get a lot done in an hour. I'll mess around. Two, 3, 4. So I have to look to see if I got 1540. Few 1540s. But I'm gonna keep that one, I think, but I'm not gonna put it all back together. I'm gonna leave it open because I need to test drives. So this will be my new tester. So this is good. So I got a 1540, and then I'll have that S2 when I take it apart. These are good. Alright, let's go back to this. I'm pumped about this rail here. It's a huge difference for the amount of copper that's. Let me go get another one, I'll show you what I mean. This is what they normally look like. So actually, I actually stand corrected. There's more copper on this one than that one. This is all copper, right? So this is a delta. It says it right here, delta. The notch on a delta. Where's that fan? It's different. It's deeper on the delta than on the AVVID. I couldn't remember how it went. But see, this says it's so different. This is so different. I've never seen one like that. It's like, but there's less copper on the bottom. I wonder which one's better. This, I think, is a cheaper version. I thought it was the opposite, but I think it's so. Let's see which fits which. Does delta fit on here? It does not. You cannot put an AAVID on a delta. Oh no, maybe you can. On a delta heatsink. You cannot. I'm pretty sure the Delta fan will fit on this. But one does not fit the other. This one definitely doesn't fit. It's about that notch. See right there? It's kind of like, they need to match. You should be using the matching ones anyway. So we're going to list this matching set there. That's what they normally look like. Two types, but they're always all like this. The notch is different, but it's a whole solid piece. So it's really interesting. I found that. I've never seen one. And like I said, I probably have had 500 at least over the years. Never seen that. This has to be a newer one. I use a little guy. I work my way inside out. Everyone does it their own way. This just works for me. Just gotta watch out for all the... See, some of that just pop right off like that. Oh, look at that. That was pretty easy. That was pretty fast, huh? And that was super easy, actually. Probably about the fastest I've done that one. Sometimes they're really difficult. That one, not so much. Alright, so I think here, skip sign in. I think we're good there. We actually got both of these done about the same time. That's pretty awesome. Alright, so these also have a lot of... Wow, it's so different. Never seen that. This stuff here bleeds. Usually it's all mushed for the heat. So I'm going to sell this as a set. I'll clean it up. But to me, so that's my motherboard. Matching drive board. I'll finish up just looking at this because it's kind of fascinating me right now. This has got to be cheaper, right? Because this isn't a solid piece of copper. And it doesn't matter. It's not about this being a Delta. Both the AAVID and Delta are all like this one, not like that one. So this must have been a late model. Had to have been. This must have been a late model. They cut out the copper, went for a different kind of design. Could be better, I don't know. It's pretty cool though. Alright, so that's that. I think we're done now. Yeah, get right about an hour. Pretty fun.